Happy 2024, everyone. This year I am trying something different. I think I've decided that I'm going to do monthly garden updates on what's growing in my garden, and I'm going to take you along so you can see how I do all this. So I grow on about 9 feet by 8 feet of space in our backyard of our townhouse. And if you're wondering about this netting situation, it's not to keep out the birds or anything wild. It's actually to keep out my cats. For whatever reason, they really like to sit in this on top of the ranunculus leaves. And I'm trying to make sure that the ranunculus have enough energy at the beginning of the season with the foliage so that it actually produces flowers because I need flowers, so we need the leaves to get the flowers. So I'm trying to protect the ranunculus from getting squished by bunkai and ichigo. So let me take you under this net and show you what's happening. So over here, I actually have green onions that I got from the grocery store. The good thing about green onions is you can actually just cut off the top and do for your cooking, and then you can actually root them in a glass of water on a windowsill, or you can actually just put them straight into the garden like this. So this is about 4 days since I cut the top off of these onions, and it's looking pretty good for only 4 days old. The rest of this is actually my ranunculus. Ranunculus is the flowers I like the most during the winter season. Um, they're really, really pretty. And so this is all tecolote variety, and I have 7 different colors, except if you see here, this is sunset, which is like an orangey kind of color, but here you see a really big empty space. So that was supposed to be Merlot, which is kind of like a purpley, dark red kind of color, but as you can see, there's nothing there. What I'm thinking is that the corms that I got weren't very good to start with, and they probably rotted out in under the soil. So no like burgundy purple color this season, but I do have salmon, which has 2 plants, red, white, pink, and then there is my favorite that is this gold color. Gold is it's not just like a bright yellow, but it's like a really like sunflower kind of gold yellow, and it's just really, really pretty. Back here I also have a black and night scabiosa, and I've never grown anything in like almost a black color before, and so I'm curious to see what that looks like. In the front here, I have a bronze color snapdragon. Back there, I have apple blossom snapdragon. Those are the ones that I'm kind of most excited to see. They are a white and kind of like a blush kind of color snapdragon. It's very popular in those of us who grow flowers, and so I've never done it before, and I'm excited for that. And then I have like a variety of different colors here. Back here, I'm also really excited for status. So back there, the one that's like a little bit bigger than the ones in the front, that is a pastel blue, and then up here is forever happy status, which is kind of like a lavender color. In the flower world, there are not very many colors that many flowers that are blue, and so and sometimes you'll see when it's labeled blue, it's actually a purple, and so like this pastel blue, on the photos of the seeds that I bought, they actually look kind of blue, so I'm kind of excited to see if they actually are blue or if they're purple. All right, coming out from behind the net, uh, these 2 plants here I am trying to overwinter. So what overwintering is I planted these last season, and I'm trying to see if they will survive our winters and then keep producing. But you're seeing some issues that I'm having is this white kind of powdery look with some yellowing. What I'm thinking is happening is I'm getting powdery mildew because I live by the coast. And so like in the morning there's like dew, and there's not enough sun right now to dry out the plant. So it's starting to get kind of like a fungus going on. So I'm going to cut all of that off, and hopefully it gives it more air so that it can dry out a little bit more. And then here I have is yarrow, and yarrow is actually native to America. So like this should be a robust plant, and it's not looking like that. Luckily for me, I actually planted two more. So if this one dies, at least I have two more coming. But we'll see if those plants kind of work out. And then in this section, I have these teeny tiny seedlings is bachelor's button. Bachelor's button is also another blue flower, but for whatever reason, I'm having a lot of trouble with bachelor's button. This is actually the third time I've tried growing bachelor's button, and I've tossed these seeds out because you have to direct sow them into the ground, and so I keep putting seeds out, and then they just don't do anything. And this is the first time I've actually have seen anything sprout at all. So I'm fingers crossed that it kind of works out, and that it actually produces flowers. And then over here is actually our first flowers of the season, and this is a cosmo called rubenza. It's like kind of like this dark red pink kind of color, and then it fades out into this kind of like hot pink kind of color. Um, it's really stunning, and I really like it so far. And then I have snow puff, is another variety of cosmo that is just about to bloom. I'm also running into my very first pest problem of the season. So if you see here, you can kind of see the aphids back there and I think it's because this particular plant, I accidentally yanked it out of the ground and I stuffed it back in and like kind of replanted it, hoping that like it didn't do much damage. But I don't think it actually has that good of a root system. So I think maybe that's why the aphids are kind of attacking it. But I have another one back there. And then coming up, you're going to see like all of this is leafy greens. That is spinach. This is a butter crunch lettuce. And so like in the wintertime, it's a really good time to plant leafy greens. Like just look at it. Like that looks really good. Um, Lettuce and spinach doesn't like summertime heat, so it's a good time to grow it all now because you won't be able to grow it come like May. Back here is actually Persian cress, and I'm using it as a greenery for my bouquets. Um, are you seeing this like dip right here? So like these plants are like squished, and it's because Bankai and Ichigo like to sit in here. And so that's what I'm trying to prevent with the ranunculus, from them sitting on top of the plants. That's why I actually grew so many of these Persian cress, is because I know that they like sitting right here, and I can't blame them. They really like the sunshine, and this is kind of like the only like sunny spot in the garden. um, and then I have a overwintered jalapeno plant. So there's like one lonely like red jalapeno on there. And a red jalapeno is just like an overripe jalapeno. So it's not any different variety than the one you see at the grocery store. I'm actually going to take you to the front yard to show you a little other section I'm growing. All right, so here is our front door, and I'm actually growing, these are extra ranunculus that I had, so I just kind of like stuffed them into these pots, and then I actually have some daffodils starting. These are some violas. This is a frizzle sizzle mix, and I'm kind of excited to see it because it has a really interesting like purple yellow variegation to it. This is a hellebore. This back here is a Rudbeckia. So it looks kind of like a mini sunflower kind of look, but it's not a sunflower. And then this is my Mandevilla vine that won first place at the Orange County Fair last year. So I'm kind of like babying it, hoping that it's going to get a two-peat blue ribbon this summer. And then last but not least, back here is my sweet peas. So these are flowering sweet peas, and they're gonna vine up here and then do, I think it's like a pastel kind of color of sweet pea flowers. All right, that's it for the January garden tour, and mostly everything is just kind of green right now. There's not really much color besides the Rubenza Cosmo, but come next month, I think ranunculus will be starting to bloom next month. So stay tuned. Thanks.